And Pat, where is all that floodwater going to end
I
up?
think a lot of people are concerned about that because in the past, here in Southeast Texas, we have encountered river flooding events. So the flood watch was issued Thursday afternoon just after 1 p.m. That basically says in this large area, we could see a flooding potential. You know, with a hurricane, I think we're lulled in this sense of security of, well, I got a couple days to put a kit together. But when you've got a flash flooding situation, you got a derecho, I mean, those come with minutes of warning. Firefighters are trying to make sure that this is where the fire stops. So they're trying to create a fire line to protect these structures from becoming casualties of this fire. I mean, think about if you took a cylinder and you rubbed it in between your arms, right? Your arms are moving in opposite directions, and what's that cylinder doing? It's spinning. That's the tornado. We had the tornado located within that derecho, so if you were outside of the tornado path, you still had wind damage. The white t-shirt is measuring a temperature of 112 degrees, whereas the black t-shirt is measuring a temperature of 140 degrees. A huge difference there. There's two different types of water spouts. Some form the same way as tornadoes in severe thunderstorms over water, and then others form on pretty quiet days. The clock on the wall, and you remember this doing the live tornado coverage, 2:44 p.m., the exact moment that the tornado went through and destroyed this home.
Pat, can you walk us through the flood alerts timeline?
Yeah, okay, so there's two things that we want to talk about. One is the forecasting and when we knew that this was going to be an issue, and the other, of course, is when folks were alerted. So it was, you know, a few days even leading up to this that the signals were there that there would be some sort of flooding event. And I've had a lot of comments on social media saying, oh, okay, well, you knew this was going to happen. Why didn't you say anything? It's not that simple. This is not like forecasting a hurricane where we can give you a good estimate of a landfall point. Basically, with flooding setups, we can tell you an area that may see flooding, but pinpointing the exact location of where a flash flood's going to happen, we can only do that within about 20 to 30 minutes of the event starting. So the flood watch was issued Thursday afternoon just after 1 p.m. That basically says in this large area, we could see a flooding potential. We started to get more high resolution data Thursday evening pointing towards a higher end event. And so a special discussion was released about that. Once the storms developed after midnight, they became stationary, they became heavy. And just after 1 a.m. at 1:14, a flash flood warning with a tag that triggered cell phone alerts was issued. So if campers and people in danger had their cell phones on, and if they had service, the phones went off to alert them. 3 hours later, that warning was upgraded to an emergency, more phone alert sound, and then 17 minutes after that, the Guadalupe River at Hunt, where these camps were, breached a major flood stage. All right, so look at the rain total since July 3rd. Again, a huge amount of water has fallen. Tens of trillions of gallons across the hill country. There's Kerrville with one bullseye, but another one up here near the Colorado River and Lake Travis in Austin. And so that begs the question, will we see any of this water flow downstream? So we take a look at the Guadalupe River, we take a look at the Colorado River, and it is the Colorado River that runs through our area because remember, everything that falls upstream has to move towards the Gulf. The saving grace for our area are the dams at the downstream part of Lake Canyon, or Canyon Lake rather, and also Lake Travis. That will control the downstream water rise. And so as we check out the Colorado River at Columbus, we are going to see a little bit of a rise by tomorrow afternoon, but it is comfortably below flood stage. So no flooding for us here in Southeast Texas. 95 in the books today, normal's 94. Beautiful shot downtown. We're dry out there, 80 degrees, feels like 84 though with the humidity. We are quiet, nothing on radar for us and really for the rest of the state. Things finally starting to wind down. It'll be partly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight. Tomorrow we do see higher rain chances come into the area with some energy off the Gulf. That's day one of two. Another wave comes in on Wednesday, so rain chances in the widespread category for Tuesday, Wednesday, 80% both days before we get back to more typical scattered chances for the end of the week. So we start off dry Tuesday, a lot of cloud cover out there. I would say by late morning, storms begin to fire and then just kind of spread out across the area. So a good chance that we get some soaking rain here through tomorrow afternoon, through tomorrow evening. I would say by 5 and 6 o'clock though, for the evening rush, things really start to shut off. Then getting into Tuesday morning, again, mix of sun and clouds to start, and we do it again with widespread heavy downpours and thunderstorms through the afternoon, getting into the evening hours as well. All right, in the tropics quickly, Tropical Storm Chantal made landfall in the Carolinas, has since dissipated, and we're not expecting any more development over the next 7 days. And that's great news as we get here into the middle of July. Overnight, we're down to 77. We dry things out. Tomorrow, 90 degrees with widespread downpours and thunderstorms. We'll do that again for Wednesday. Then scattered storms and even isolated chances with more Saharan dust for Friday. Temperatures warm back to the mid-90s, and we turn hot and mainly dry getting into the start of next week, guys.
Yeah, the press conference that the Red Cross did at 11 o'clock this morning, they said that they had assessed nearly 3,700 homes as a result of that tornado from 2 weeks ago. We're standing inside of one of them right now, and you can see there is not much left. Parts of this home completely destroyed. We shot some drone video earlier that gives you a bird's eye view of this home. The one thing that really stands out from this home as compared to others is the lack of a tarp on the roof, or at least any kind of cleanup. And that's because the owner of this house, unfortunately, a 72-year-old woman who was in the home when the tornado went through, does not have insurance. So they are right now trying to figure out their next steps. She's okay. She's staying with her son down the street. But again, they are trying to figure out the next step in this process. David, I want to show you something as we come back live here. The neighbor, Jose, who is the one that rescued this woman from the house after the tornado, pointed out to us the clock on the wall, and you remember this doing the live tornado coverage, 2:44 p.m., the exact moment that the tornado went through and destroyed this home. For the last 2 weeks, that clock has been on the wall as a chilling reminder of the storm that changed so many lives in this area. We're going to keep walking around. We'll show you more of this home coming up here in the 6 o'clock hour. But right now we are live in Pasadena. We'll send it back inside to you.